Good evening and welcome to the first 2015 broadcast of 1010 News, your top 10 news in 10 minutes, brought to you by yours truly, Andy Hong. Now that we're done with the pleasantries, let's get right into the news. The third major aircraft accident in 2014 occurred just days before the year ended in December 28th. The airline involved, AirAsia, was also from the same region as Malaysian Airlines, which had one plane disappear and another one shot down earlier last year. The AirAsia flight bound to Singapore from Surabaya, Indonesia, went missing just 40 minutes after takeoff. Bodies have recently been recovered around 10 miles or 16 kilometers from the last known location of the flight in the Java Sea off Borneo. Although Singapore's defense ministry announced that it had found what resembles a window panel of the Airbus A320, no major sections of the fuselage nor the black boxes have been recovered. The data we have right now suggests that the plane was brought down by severe weather, as the plane was flying through the weather at relatively lower altitudes compared to other flights in that location. The same rough conditions are also hampering recovery efforts. 162 were on board. The past week was a bad one for transportation in general, as a fire on a ferry in the Adriatic Sea on Tuesday caused at least 10 deaths. Even though rough seas prevented large-scale rescue operations, the Italian Coast Guard managed to save 427 people, many airlifted with helicopters. Unlike the ferry disaster in Korea in the spring of last year, the captain was last to leave the burning ferry. Apparently, the fire started in the parking bay of the ship and spread quickly due to faulty fire doors. Authorities have noted that it is likely that there will indeed be a criminal investigation. This past Wednesday, the world celebrated one of its only universal holidays, New Year's Day. The fireworks and celebrations at all the major cities, especially the one in Dubai, were truly a sight to see. Especially fireworks involving skyscrapers as firing platforms seem to be the new trend. However, the celebrations in Shanghai turned deadly when a stampede of people in the Bund, a popular area of the city, injured 49 and claimed the lives of 35 people. According to CNN reports, the fireworks at the Bund were called off earlier, but many still showed up, 300,000 by 8:30 p.m. and overwhelmed government expectations. Local media report that the casualties were a result of a clash between incoming people and people trying to leave. President Xi Jinping has ordered immediate investigations and warned officials of the possibility of similar accidents in the Lunar New Year, China's biggest holiday. Even North Korea took part in New Year celebrations when it too had its share of fireworks in Pyongyang. Today, President Obama effectively party-pooped North Korean despot Kim Jong-un when he imposed new sanctions on the totalitarian nation in response to the alleged North Korean hackings of Sony Pictures. The new sanctions, if implemented, cuts off the ability to buy, sell, or transfer any property in the United States, as well as the ability to enter the U.S. at all to anybody affiliated with the North Korean government, which, according to CBS, specifically include North Korea's main intelligence service, the country's primary arms dealer, and 10 individuals, including several top political leaders of the country. This, of course, comes a day after Kim revealed that he is open to direct talks, as the South recently revealed plans to disarm the North without armed conflict. We'll have to see how this plays out. Also earlier today, Jewish settlers in Israel attacked American consular officials when the officials tried to investigate damage claims to the Palestinian agricultural property. The officials, responding to reports of settlers uprooting Palestinian olive trees, arrived at the settlement to find themselves being pelted with rocks from the settlers. As you all know, Israel is the United States' most important political ally, although many Israelis and quite a few Americans don't agree, with about $3 billion of annual aid. Terrorist activity was relentless throughout the week. In Syria, a video surfaced showing two young Italian women, Greta Ramelli and Vanessa Marzullo, aged 20 and 21 respectively, who went missing in July while traveling in the war-torn nation. It appears that the video was shot on December 17th, and they expressed concerns that they might be killed. The Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs declined to comment. On Tuesday, 15 were killed in a terrorist raid in Nigeria by the infamous group Boko Haram. The terrorists attacked a village close to Chibok, which was the town that had more than 200 schoolgirls kidnapped by the group. The past few months have seen an escalation in deadly attacks by Boko Haram, and we can hope that it gets better with the new year. Police brutality was one of the larger issues in the second half of 2014, and it continues to cause controversy. Tanisha Anderson, a 37-year-old Cleveland woman with physical and mental conditions, died on November 12th while in police custody. Today, an official report has revealed that her death was a homicide due to being restrained in a prone position, which is exacerbated by her heart condition and bipolar disorder, very similar to the Eric Garner case in New York. Cleveland police has been in hot water for a while now, especially after the deadly shooting of a 12-year-old boy who was wielding an airsoft gun. The U.S. Justice Department concluded that the Cleveland police uses too much excessive and unnecessary force, but we are yet to see clear improvements from the department. In Idaho, a 2-year-old boy accidentally shot and killed his mother in an Idaho Walmart. Reports indicate that the woman had a legal concealed weapon in her purse, which the boy somehow managed to get a hold of. All the questions remain as to whether the mother took proper precautions as to having the weapon secured with the safety switch on. One thing is for certain, that the weapon should never have been near the child. And all of us living in California and the West in general would have noticed that the chilly weather lately, a large winter storm, passed through the West in most areas west of the Rockies. Many major cities such as Las Vegas and Los Angeles experienced near freezing temperatures, if not freezing temperatures. And in Arizona, the storm dumped 15 inches of snow. High winds caused 4 deaths in California. However, thanks to the rain and the wind, there was extremely clear weather here in Irvine. On Wednesday, we got a 1 in a million view of the sunset in Newport. Finally, for this week's science news, I have 2 interesting articles for you guys to think about over the weekend. First off, scientists have discovered that bad luck seems to be the primary cause of cancer. The scientists involved in the study in Johns Hopkins Medicine Center argued that since cancer is a random mutation in a person's cell, it can happen to anybody. If you're lucky, your cells won't make harmful mutations. If you're not lucky, see your nearest cancer treatment hospital today. You should still, however, factor in other causes such as family history, smoking, drugs, and alcohol, because those increase your likelihood of being unlucky and having cancer. Also, a joint U.S.-Russian space program is underway in which astronaut Scott Kelly and cosmonaut Mikhail Kornienko will spend a year in space to study the long-term effects of life in space. The study will especially be interesting for Scott Kelly, as NASA will simultaneously study his twin brother Mark Kelly, another accomplished astronaut, who will, for the sake of this mission, remain on Earth. It is already known, as it is noted on an official NASA article on this mission, that typical physiological responses of long-duration spaceflight include increased bone and muscle loss, decreased cardiovascular function, and sensory motor performance. To the 2 brave men risking their well-being for the cause of science, the 1010 News team salutes you. And this was the 1010 News for this week. I'm Andy Hong. Make sure to like us on Facebook and YouTube, and we'll be back with next week with more of your top 10 news in 10 minutes. Stay educated.